Welcome everyone. In this video, we are going to be diving into my top 3 best teams for the Kanto Cup. Now guys, the Kanto Cup at the time of recording this video is set to drop tomorrow afternoon at the normal time that leagues typically reset, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, Kanto Cup, I got a soft spot for the Kanto Cup, I must say. I don't know what it is. It may just be that nostalgia factor, you know, Gen 1, Pokemon going at it, and Pokemon Go Battle League. Always a fun time. And for those of you who may be new to Pokemon Go Battle League, if you're unfamiliar, the Kanto Cup takes place at the Great League format, which is 1500 CP or less, and it only allows Pokemon first discovered in the Kanto region, as the name implies. So those are the rules for the Kanto Cup, and it is always tons of fun, like I said. And I thought, you know, as per usual, why not get you guys ready, get the juices flowing in the brain in terms of what team to run. So here are 3 teams that you might find useful in the Kanto Cup. Without further ado, let's dive into team number 1. All right, guys, here we go. Team number 1 for the Kanto Cup, and my goodness, is it a powerful team, guys. This may just be the best team that you could possibly run in the Kanto Cup. I am not kidding. It is extremely powerful. And it's a team that if you love winning, you want to be the best that you can possibly be in Pokemon Go Battle League. You want to have fun, and you want to have success at the same time. Team number 1 may just be for you guys. And it consists of Lickitung on the lead, Nidoqueen as your safe swap, and Hypno in the back to close the game strong. Now, guys, I know many of you may be saying already, yeah, I don't have a Lickitung. I just don't have an XL Lickitung, and that is okay, guys. The best replacement for Lickitung is Snorlax. Snorlax is fantastic in the place of Lickitung. You still have excellent coverage on the meta. You do lose a little bit of bulk, but the core functionalities are still there. You still run Lick as your fast move. You still have Body Slam, and you have fantastic coverage with Superpower. And Snorlax is basically a Swiss Army knife of charge move potential. You have your choice of a number of different coverage moves, but Superpower is what I would recommend. And that's just if you don't have a Lickitung, but for those of you who do have one, definitely go for the Lickitung for sure. But yeah, guys, this team is super strong. You are going to be winning quite a bit if you choose to run this team. Let's have a look at the scorecard here. And there you have it, my friends. Look at that scorecard. Holy smokes. You get a solid A for coverage. You get an A for bulk. You get an A for safety. And you get a solid B for consistency. You don't get much better than that. Especially considering that this is a bit of a pseudo ABB style team, guys. So the idea behind this team is Lickitung on the lead. Of course, it's going to be weak to fighters. And you've got 2 excellent anti-fighters in the back with Nidoqueen and Hypno. Lickitung going to do fantastic on the lead against just about everything outside of a strong fighter. Let's have a look at these matchups here. Of course, the mirror matchup you always want to swap out on. I personally, with my play style, I don't like mirror matchups. It's not my favorite. It's just too much of a coin toss, flip a coin to see who wins. I don't like that. But anyways, Lickitung on the lead. You can stay in a little bit, play that out a little bit, maybe try and chip with a Body Slam, get the health low, and then you'll want to look to make a play into your Nidoqueen. You don't want to go into Hypno. That's the thing with the Lickitung lead. It's a very tricky one to try and maneuver around, but it definitely can be done. I would say play it out until you get it to around 50% health. That way, if they don't stay in on your Nidoqueen and you happen to lose your own Lickitung, Hypno can can fare a little bit better if that opposing Lickitung has a lower health, or if you have a health advantage on your Hypno. Excuse me. Nidoqueen lead. That's another tricky one. You do technically lose, but you can soften it up a little with a few of those body slams from Lickitung. They do start to add up on Nidoqueen. You could easily tank a couple of Poison Fangs and still be relatively healthy, but you don't want to stay in too long and play that out for too long. At some point, you'll want to make a play into your own Nidoqueen once you have weakened the opposing Nidoqueen quite a bit. Let's see here. Just about everything else, you're going to be doing just fine with Lickitung on the lead. Like I said, you really have to watch out for those fighters. The fighters are trouble, of course. That's why we have the 2 Pokemon in the back to handle those fighters. Pidgeot can also be a bit of a problem for Lickitung. You don't want to stay in on a Pidgeot lead. Of course, Pidgeot being a normal type is double resisting your fast move pressure. And they have the ability to either nuke you with a Brave Bird, or really whittle away at you with those feather dances. And Gust with Stab really does start to add up. So not the best lead for Lickitung. So yeah, the fighters, and I would say Pidgeot, are the ones you really want to keep an eye out for. But you guys can see these matchups here. Everything else you're going to have a solid time with in the Kanto Cup if you choose to run this team. Yeah, very strong team. Probably the best team you could possibly run in the Kanto Cup. I would imagine once people start to put this team into PvPoke and run the sims on it, that we may find out that this is literally the best team you could possibly run. And that is Lickitung on the lead. Nidoqueen is your safe swap, and Hypno in the back to close the game strong. Very solid team. You don't get much better. But with all that said, let's have a look at team number 2. All right, guys, here we go. Team number 2, and it is another super solid team for the Kanto Cup. And it consists of Lapras on the lead, Mew as your safe swap, and Alolan Marowak to close the game strong. Very solid team. Similar core principle as with team number 1, whereas, your lead Pokemon is going to be weak to those fighters. And you've got 2 Pokemon in the back that can handle the fighters. There aren't going to be too many fighters. It just happened to be that this sort of team comp performs very well in the Kanto Cup. So Lapras is an animal, so overpowered, so tanky. It can just hang in there and terrorize your opponents. Mew on the safe swap is an excellent safe swap just because it has so much broad coverage. You want to talk about a Swiss Army knife of charge move potential. I don't know if there is another Pokemon that can take the cake in the place of Mew. Mew is amazing in terms of what you can run on it. I do recommend Surf Wild Charge. That would give you the broadest coverage with Mew, and of course you always run Shadow Claw on Mew. Does excellent up against opposing Psychics and Ghost types in the meta. And Alolan Marowak, of course, as well, has excellent coverage on the meta. Definitely Bone Club. Shadow Bone, I think, is the way to go. You could run the alternative move set of Hex, Shadow Bone, Fire Blast. If you want to one-shot some things in the Kanto Cup, that's always fun. But let's have a look at the scorecard here. Not bad, guys. Not bad at all. This is nothing to sneeze at. We get a B for coverage, a B for bulk, B for safety, and a B for consistency. Guys, in my day, if I brought home straight Bs, I was doing okay with my report card. And I would say the same for this one as well. So the idea with this team, again, any sort of fighter on the lead, you may see quite a few Primates. I know last go around with the Kanto Cup, the double fighter backline was pretty popular and pretty successful. If you're unfamiliar, it would run Primeape on the safe swap and Shadow Machamp or Machamp in the back. And you would run that behind, I believe, Nidoqueen. You could see it behind Lickitung. You could see those two behind a number of Pokemon. You could even see them behind Mew. as well. So with a team like this, you would be doing very well against that double fighter backline, which was very popular last go around in Kanto Cup. I can't imagine anything will change. I'm sure you will be seeing the double fighter backline as well in this go around. But as you can see, there's a bit of a pattern with these matchups here. Lapras is going to win lead on a lot of things in the Kanto Cup. This is kind of what you want to see on a team comp, where the lead Pokemon has a fair number of wins on the lead, followed behind a couple of losses in the back. That's a good team comp. Although it may seem counterintuitive, that gives you the most flexibility because you can swap into your safe swap and know that Lapras can come back in and beat whatever they counter swapped you with. And that way your remaining Pokemon in the back can roam free and have a good end game from there. So Lapras does win a lot on lead. You're going to have trouble in the Lapras mirror matchup. It's going to be a bit of a team effort for the whole team. You may want to stay in on the Lapras mirror if you are met with it and try and get off a big Skull Bash, then make a quick play into your Mew and try and play that out. You're going to have to bait a little bit if they decide to stay in, because that Mew matchup is very much predicated on landing a Wild Charge. Of course, running Surf, that's going to be resisted, but that is your fast activating charge move, and it will not debuff you. If things go awry, Alolan Marowak can do okay as well against Lapras. You are resisting that fast move pressure. It's just, the charge move pressure that can be a threat to Alolan Marowak. But you are hitting the Lapras for neutral damage with your Fire Spins, and Shadow Bone with Stab does hit pretty hard. What else here? Kanto Ninetales on the lead. It says you lose to, and that's just because it recommends that you run a triple fire moveset on Kanto Ninetales in this meta, and that being Fire Spin, Weather Ball, and Overheat. And Overheat will do quite a bit of neutral damage, not going to lie, guys, to a Lapras. That's just why it says that you lose, and that is very much bait dependent as well. It's a lot closer than you would think. I don't think you'll see tons of Kanto Ninetales, but if you do, it's always good to be prepared, and it's good to know that Alolan Marowak in the back has a solid matchup, especially if they're running the triple fire moveset. Mew can threaten as well with Surfs. It's not that bad, Kanto Ninetales. If that's your biggest worry in this meta, you're going to be doing just fine, guys. And yeah, solid team overall. Alolan Graveler can be a bit tricky as well. It's another one of those Pokemon that all three Pokemon can have success against. It's just individually they have a tendency to lose more often than win. But it's a team effort for Alolan Graveler. All three Pokemon can absolutely threaten it. Bone Club nearly one-shots Alolan Graveler just because of its double super effective. As weak as Bone Club is as a charge move, it does tons of damage because Alolan Graveler is not known for its bulk. So if you're able to land a Bone Club on Alolan Graveler, forget about it. And of course, Mew and Lapras can threaten it with Surfs as well. Lapras does have the worst matchup against Alolan Graveler, so I wouldn't stay in on that because you are taking super effective damage from the fast moves. I would make a play into Mew on Alolan Graveler. And yeah, so Venusaur can be a problem as well. You don't typically see Venusaur. It is extremely rare, which seems kind of crazy because Venusaur is always a strong pick. But you can play that out. That is definitely doable. You may have to lose lead on a Venusaur because you can't go into Mew, and you definitely can't go into your hard counter of Alolan Marowak. You might just have to soft lose lead on a Venusaur. You are applying super effective fast move pressure with your Ice Shards, but yeah, Venusaur definitely takes a team effort. You could lose lead on that and then, of course, come in, farm down with your Alolan Marowak and look to go from there. But those are the major threats to this team. Other than that, you're going to be having a solid time with team number 2 here. Very strong scorecard, solid team overall, and that is Lapras on the lead, Mew as your safe swap, and Alolan Marowak to close the game strong. Solid team. That is team number 2. With all that said, let's have a look at team number 3. All right, guys, last but certainly not least, we've got team number 3. And it is yet another strong team for the Kanto Cup. Loads of fun, guys, and it consists of Nidoqueen on the lead, Lapras as your safe swap, and Alolan Sandslash to close the game strong. Fresh off of its community day not too long ago. We all know Alolan Sandslash got a nice little update with Shadow Claw. And it's going to do very well with Shadow Claw in the Kanto Cup. And honestly, guys, a little fun fact for you. If you're concerned about Shadow Claw not having stab, just so that you know, Powder Snow and Shadow Claw actually do the same amount of damage. Because Powder Snow does 5 base damage, while Shadow Claw does 6 base damage. And you add the stab bonus onto the 5, and you even up with Shadow Claw. So if that was a concern for those of you, don't be concerned about it. You're going to be doing the same amount of base damage with your fast move if you're on Shadow Claw. The only difference is you're going to have a lot more coverage, a lot broader coverage. You can do a lot of neutral damage to most things in this meta outside of the normal types, of course, and those sneaky dark types from the Alola region as well. They're going to be resisting your fast move pressure. But outside of that, you're going to either be doing super effective or neutral damage to most things in this meta with Alolan Sandslash in the back. Very solid team. The dynamics of this team, of course, you've got Nidoqueen on the lead. Going to be resisting fighters. And you've got 2 ice types in the back that are going to have trouble with fighters. Nidoqueen, also being a ground type, can handle the fire types as well. Lapras, having that water subtyping, can handle fire types as well, which you want to keep far and away from your Alolan Sandslash, of course. So very solid team for team number 3. Let's have a look at the scorecard here. Not bad, guys. Not a bad scorecard for team number 3, I must say. This is awesome. You get a solid A for coverage with team number 3. You get a B for bulk, B for safety, and a B for consistency. That is not bad at all for a very fun and effective team to run in the Kanto Cup for team number 3. Very solid scorecard there. Let's have a look at these matchups. Nidoqueen on the lead is going to win lead a lot in this meta, guys. Nidoqueen is one of those Pokemon that needs no introduction by now. We all know how overpowered Nidoqueen can be. And if you're wondering if you can run Shadow, of course, you can absolutely run Shadow Nidoqueen on the lead with this team. However, the non-Shadow does rank higher, slightly higher. Non-Shadow Nidoqueen, I believe, is ranked either 2 or 3 in this meta. I believe it's 2. And the Shadow version is not far behind. It is still in the top 5 as well. So Nidoqueen on the lead is going to be doing well. You're going to probably be running into a lot of Lickitungs. Guys, Lickitung has been out in the wild for quite some time by now. A lot of people are gaining access to XL Lickitung, so you might see it a lot more than we did last go around with the Kanto Cup. And if that is the case, you can rest assured that you're going to win lead against Lickitung. You'll want to stay in there. Get off a couple of Poison Fangs. If they haven't swapped out by then, you can maybe come in with Lapras and look to finish it off. Because if they're staying in, they have something to hide. And you don't want to lose your Nidoqueen just in case they have got a fighter or a fire type in the back. That's how I would play Lickitung leads. The mirror match, you're just getting the heck out of there just as fast as you can. No need in staying in on the Nidoqueen mirror match on the lead, knowing that you have 2 strong ice types in the back that can absolutely handle Nidoqueen. So you're swapping out on Nidoqueen lead. Hypno, of course, you're getting out of there. Now, PB Poke recommends that Hypno runs Fire Punch. But I don't think that most people are going to be running it. You could absolutely see it. I'm not going to say you're not going to see Fire Punch on Hypno. You could, but most people are going to be running Thunder Punch for coverage on the strong water types like Lapras. But either way, you are not staying in on a Hypno lead. You are getting out of there just as fast as you can into your Lapras and go from there. And other than that, there aren't very many major threats to this team. And a Alolan Sandslash on your opponent's team on the lead could be a bit of trouble. You could stay in there a little bit. Nidoqueen can tank a Ice Punch and still keep on going. You could try and threaten with a super effective Earth Power, but I think the safer play is to try and go into Lapras and play that out. They may not know the matchup and they may try to stay in there. If they do, Lapras will win that, and you've got your own Sandslash in the back if things go awry for you. But Alolan Sandslash, I think, on the lead is the biggest threat to this team outside of Hypno. And Hypno really isn't even that much of a threat. I think Alolan Sandslash for this team on the lead is probably the biggest threat, and that is also not that bad. Yeah, other than that, Lapras is going to take a team effort. It does recommend that you run Bulldoze on your Alolan Sandslash just for coverage up against the fire types that you may run into. I prefer running Gyro Ball just in case you happen to meet up with a Lapras on your opponent's team. It has Stab and it's basically the same move. Bulldoze and Gyro Ball are clone moves. They just do different types of damage. So I like Gyro Ball. It does have Stab, but you could run Bulldoze as well. Lapras is going to take a team effort. If you encounter it on the lead, you could try and soften it a little bit with a Poison Fang and then look to get into your own Lapras. You don't want to stay in there for too long because you are taking super effective fast move pressure and they can really threaten you with super effective surfs. And they do get to them relatively fast, considering that it's a 3-turn move. So Lapras is a team effort. You don't want to stay in too long if you meet it on the lead. If it's in the back, it's a lot easier because it's a lot easier to align. Yeah, Lapras takes a team effort. Alolan Sandslash on your opponent's team also takes a team effort. But other than that, you're going to have a solid time with team number 3. Very strong team for the Kanto Cup. That scorecard is amazing. You don't get much better than that, guys. And that about wraps it up for my top 3 best teams for the Kanto Cup. Like I said, it's always a fun time in the Kanto Cup. One of my favorite specialty cups. There's just that nostalgia factor there, guys. You know what I mean. Gen 1 Pokemon going at it. Always a fun time. I'm excited for it, and it drops tomorrow at the normal time that leagues typically reset. Should be tons of fun. I hope you guys all enjoyed. And as always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.